Hello there guys, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering arena draft video. Zendikar Rising is on the horizons, and I haven't uploaded too much content yet, but I've been watching some Tinker's cube draft, and I've been quite enjoying the experience for the most part, since unlike a regular cube, most of the cards aren't so broken and busted at a significant higher power level. That it's more focused on a synergistic game plan, which I definitely prefer over a regular cube draft. So, yeah, I'm happy to try it out. And yeah, having the types of drafts I do enjoy are the ones that are more focused on synergy than instead of just playing a million bombs, which is essentially what I think is what regular cube is. Not saying that regular cube just not saying that regular cube doesn't require synergy or thought, but it just feels like it's just at a completely um, higher power level, with so many bombs that can just win the game outright, that it's just better to do this type of cube instead, which again I've been quite satisfied with watching. But without further ado, I'm not enjoying Amonkhet Remastered. I don't like Core Set 2021. I don't think those I don't think any of those two sets are deep enough, or offers us a lot of variety outside of the aggro decks where you just either just flip a coin and get lucky against another aggro deck, or if you end up drafting some sort of control or ramp deck where you do have a lower win rate. So yeah, I don't like formats where like one or two colors just completely dominate the set while the rest of the other colors, although they do offer a lot of although they do offer different variety, they're just not comparable. That's the problem with sets like Ikoria, where just cycling just almost made every other archetype irrelevant outside the cycling or the red blue spells decks. And that's the same thing with Core Set 2021. White is just so powerful and dominating, and the Exert decks in Amonkhet Remastered are can just overtake the game immediately. That it's not fun. It doesn't offer us, like, again, a lot of variety and options. But yeah, Tinker's Cube Draft does, and yeah, I've been having a lot of success getting up to five wins at least, getting back my 4K gems. So let's fire one off and let's try our best. And it's a lot more easier to pinpoint the pick one bombs in Tinker's Cube compared to, for example, a regular cube where you have to choose between like 8 different bombs. Obviously, in like a regular cube, you want to take like the Soul Rings and the Mana Fixing AS usually, or Teferi or whatnot, or Ashiok. But yeah, this Tinker's Cube is definitely, the power level has been nerfed, and makes it a lot more fluid to draft, so to speak. Um, and it does reward you for the most part, if you have like a very linear synergistic game plan overall, instead of just playing bombs every single curve, which is not something I enjoy. Like sets like War to Spark, for example, where you drop an Ugin or Nissa and you just win outright. Those are not sets I like. But if you do have a bomb, but it requires synergy, then it's in order to operate, then that's the type of sets I do like. And this Tinker's Cube has been quite impressive for me to watch. And there's just so many options, like red black sack, white black life gain. You can do the green multicolor stuff. You can go wide with tokens. You can draft a nice control deck, a mill strategy, flyers, mono red. There's just so many cool options. But it does reward you for knowing how to draft correctly, um, with the good first picks and whatnot. So we'll see. Alright, then pack one, pick one. What do we have to find? Pleasure of opening. Tinker's Cube Draft. Mothra is quite powerful. Of course, if you have a bunch of creatures, they just gain flying. So this is not a card that you want in a deck full of flyers. since you want creatures without flying to die, and they come back as flyers. So this is a nice, decent first pick. Alternatively, there's Woolstrider, nice escape creature, and a free sack outlet. Mouth to Feed can be quite strong if you're focusing on like large creatures, and if you're going to do an aggro game plan. Saheeli, Saheeli can actually be pretty fun too. Like we could set up some sort of maybe some sort of blue-red spells deck, and this is quite strong. Yeah, and it's just a nice value engine if you can get her going, and then she can just make a bunch of tokens. I don't mind starting the draft with Saheeli. Like, Luminous Broodmoth is quite fun if you want to just be like a ground attacking deck that's looking to just play a bunch of weenies, but Saheeli is just a powerful build around, so yeah, I think that's how you want to start draft. Just pick a powerful build around, and Saheeli can be quite fun. Ooh, there's the Ironcrag Pyromancer. I mean, they do kind of fit the same kind of archetype. Although Ironcrag Pyromancer wants you to have more card draw. That being said, it's still, if you can pick up enough cards like Hieroglyphic Illumination, or Thrill of Possibilities, or Divinations, like Ironcrag Pyromancer is a really nice build around, and we can still play them both in the same deck. Like we can be like a spells deck with card draw in it, and this is quite good. There's Cryptic Serpent, which is a good payoff as well for the blue-red spells deck. If you have enough in your yard, you can just cast this for really cheap and it's powerful. Spectral Sailor, nice flash creature. Card draw, you can activate this to draw cards. Hieroglyphic Illumination would be perfect as well. There's also Angel of Vitality for the life gain deck. Reverend Hoplite for the tokens. But I think following up with Saheeli, the Ironcrag Pyromancer, we can kind of dip our toes into it and see if it pans out. And if it doesn't, we still have a nice start for a blue-red spells deck. This pack is not amazing. Yeah, this pack sucks. What's this? Denrova Horror. Decent creature if you're in the mill deck, since it fills the graveyard. There's a Flux Channeler, which does have the non-creature synergies. So if we pick up enough Planeswalkers and ways to trigger this can be, enough creatures with +1/+1 counters, this can be decent. Like, I know there's some mass synergies in the set too, so I think we just take the Flux Channeler. Sylvala can be pretty strong too if you end up in like a green ramp deck. Sure, the effect is symmetrical, but if you're going to be playing green, you're mostly going to have a lot of turns where you can just play creatures with a lot of power over time, and then you can just outdraw your opponent, even though they might have the ability to draw cards. So Sylvala is also pretty good, but I think we're just going to take a Flux Channeler here, and then again stick with our blue-red spells plan. Blink of an Eye is perfect, nice interaction spell, and if you can kick this, you can draw a card. Although there's Cartouche of Knowledge, but Cartouche is not I guess it's also a non-creature spell. Cartouche is quite close. Both of these cards are quite excellent. I guess Blink of an Eye only happens with Kicker. And with Ironcrag Pyromancer, if you kick this on the opponent's turn, it's only going to draw a card, so it's not going to trigger on the opponent's turn. So I guess you'd rather just have something to play on your turn and draw a card right away. That being said, it's a pretty flexible interaction spell. Cartouche is quite nice too. You can draw a card right away, trigger the Ironcrag Pyromancer, and then have a nice Flying Wind condition. But I think we still take Blink of an Eye. It's just very flexible. Even if we don't draw a card off of it, it's still very nice to use for 2 mana. And then at 4 mana, you can just kick this and draw a card. So I think the Blink might be the correct pick, but Cartouche is also really close. Like, we could just abandon the Ironcrag Pyromancer and not even focus on card draw synergy, and just focus on blue-red spells, and this is nice. Some interesting options. There is a Sinister Sabotage if I want to go for the more controlling game plan with counter spells. Burning Prophet can be decent if I want to be a little bit more aggressive. I think with a card like Saheeli and Ironcrag Pyromancer and Blink, I think I want to be a little bit more controlling, and the Sinister Sabotage can be a nice counter spell. I mean, Burning Prophet is just a fine blocker, but it's only good if you're being aggressive. So we could just take Sinister Sabotage here. I mean, just triggering this to improve your draw steps every turn can be quite nice. So it's questionable. So are we aggressive or controlling? It seems like we're more controlling, so I think the Sinister Sabotage is correct. But Burning Prophet is also a good 2-drop that I don't mind playing. Shivan Fire, nice removal spell in red. I don't think anything else we want. Dance with Devils can be okay, but it's better in black-red sack. We'll just take a Shivan Fire here. There's a Scampering Scorcher, but it's not really an instant sorcery. There's a nice dual land we can cycle away. There's also Sailor of Means. Compelling Argument. I don't think we're looking to mill the opponent. Illyris is alright, but it's better if you can just like blink it. It's more for like a blinking deck where you can just use the blink effects to bounce it back over and over. I think we'll just take a cycling land here. Sailor of Means can also be okay if you want to splash, but I think we want to just stick with 2 colors for now. So cards I'm not happy seeing, I don't think Flux Channel has too much great synergy, or an Ironcrag Pyromancer. I guess with the cycling land, you can still draw with the Ironcrag Pyromancer, so we can still consider it. Ooh, Thrill of Possibilities, what's this? Guild Pack Informant. Flying when it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Proliferate. We're not really looking to proliferate. Like, again, the Flux Channel doesn't look great in this deck. I think we like the Thrill with the Ironcrag Pyromancer. And again, we can just beat this blue-red spells deck that's looking to be very controlling. And a Shock is perfect. Spellgorger Weird will be fine if we're being more aggressive, but again, I think we're controlling. Flux Channeler, again, not looking great in this deck, so I can put it in the sideboard for now. So we can be this blue-red spells deck that's looking to draw cards. That's what I think we're trying to do, and just having a lot of interaction and instant speed stuff is great, so I think Shock over to Spellgorger Weird is correct. Well, there's Cryptic Serpent, which is a nice payoff in the late game as a fine curve topper, but Hieroglyphic Illumination just does so much. You can cycle on your turn with the Ironcrag Pyromancer, you can keep it up with the counter spells, it just digs you deeper in your deck, and I don't think we're going to have any problems finding win conditions, so I don't think I need to prioritize the Cryptic Serpent. Let's just take the Hieroglyphic Illumination, seems good. Maybe we end up splashing the Dinrova Horror, although it's kind of expensive, and the 6-mana 4/4 is not super impressive. Maybe we end up splashing black and we can take up our Dragon Skull Summit. We can beat this Grixis control deck. Don't think we're going to ever cast Ironcrag Feet. I don't think we're playing Grim Initiate. Like, don't think we're sacrificing here, but I could just take it in case we somehow end up with sack synergies. I mean, I don't really want to play Infuriate as well. I mean, this is a pretty late Dreadhorde Butcher, so we could, like, move into a Black-Red Sacrifice deck if the whole Blue-Red Spells things doesn't pan out, and even a late Sanitarium Skeleton, because it does seem like Black-Red Sack is kind of open. Compelling Argument we can put in a sideboard. We're not looking to mill, but we can still cycle it for the Ironcrag Pyromancer, but we'll see. In this pack, there's an Experimental Overload, which is quite nice. Electro Dominance is a little bit too expensive. So if we had Ramp, it's better. Storm Herald, good if you have auras, which we don't have any. Emery, good if you have artifacts, which we're not really focused on. There's also Negate, which I don't mind, but the Experimental Overload can be quite powerful. Not only does it generate a creature, but it gets back your best draw spell or your removal spell. So it seems perfect in this type of archetype we're planning for. So I think it's correct here. Could take a Winged Words, but we don't have too many flyers. It's still a card draw spell, though. Siren Storm Tamer also isn't bad. It's a creature and a counter spell. Fibblethip can draw a card, and it's an okay 2-drop. So it does trigger the Ironcrag Pyromancer. Soul Scar Mage is better for being aggressive, but we're more controlling. There's also Electrostag Field, which can be a fine blocker that we could utilize to hold the fort in the early game, and then just ping the opponent per turn. Like, it can be a fine win condition in and of itself. So I don't actually hate it, and we don't have much at 2. Again, the Winged Words is better if we have more flyers. This is okay, but we can always pick up a counterspell later, and I'd rather have a counterspell that's an instance or sorceries to help fuel the Experimental Overload. So there's a lot of options here. Fibblethip also draws a card, but I don't think it's going to be that powerful, so I think Electrostag Field is correct. Like, we can still block and ping the opponent. Don't think we're omening. Don't think we're aggressive enough for this card. Don't think we're casting Grim Rally. Don't think we're annexing. There's Charter Course, which is not bad. I mean, it's still a loot effect. I mean, I don't mind looting even if we don't manage to attack with a creature. It's still a fine card draw spell. There's also Unsummon, which can be fine. Decent interaction spell, instant speed, where you can bounce the opponent's stuff. So it's between Charter Course and the Unsummon. I think we just want the Charter Course, right? This is a card draw spell. This is a card draw spell. I mean, we might have enough card draw eventually in the deck that we just rather have the interaction spell and instant speed. And for 1 mana, it's quite nice. So I actually don't hate it, taking it here. No, let's take Charter Course. Let's just take Chart. I mean, we already have Blink of an Eye. It's close. A Braid would be perfect. There's also Mirage Conjecture, which is perfect, I think, for this type of deck, especially with Blink of an Eye. Like, it's just a nice way to get back another instance or sorcery. And we do have a couple of instances of sorceries. This can get back the Experimental Overload, and then once the third chapter ticks, you can copy your spell twice. So this is quite good. If this wasn't his pack, probably just take the Abrade here over the Kinetic Augur. Although Kinetic Augur can be okay, but the Mirage Conjecture is just at a much more higher power level than all the other cards. Row's perfect.
Yep.
I don't think it. Yeah, I clicked on it pretty hard, so I don't think there was anything else in the pack. But Raw is definitely easy for us. It's a powerful win condition. When we recast this as a sorcery, it just pings the opponent. We can scry one with it. Now that I think about it, I think I want the unsummon here over the chart because we're not looking to attack the opponent much. But again, it's still a 2-mana draw spell. You still draw 2 and discard, so it's a fine way to loot. It's like essentially a better Thrill of Possibilities. Don't think we're Sure Strike. Enthralling Hold, I don't mind. Can be a fine expensive spell at the top end, although it doesn't have any, doesn't have too much synergy outside of Saheeli. Because all these cards really benefit for instances and sorceries, and this is enchantment. But I don't think we're playing anything else. I don't think we're Sure Striking. Let's just take an Enthralling Hold here. Might not make it, but it's still pretty strong if we manage to cast it. Quasi Duplicate's perfect. There's also Murmuring Mystic though. This only copies creatures, though, and we don't have too many creatures. Like, copying the Ironcrack Pyromancer is nice, but we're not really a creature deck, so Murmuring Mystic might actually be something we'd rather have. That's another great payoff for the instant sorcery spell. Precision Bow is also good. Yeah, this doesn't copy Planeswalkers. If it did, I'd probably snatch it up, but I think I have to take the Murmuring Mystic here. Just as another fine win condition, like we have Raw that can ping, Electromagnetic Field that can ping, Ironcrack Pyromancer can deal 3 damage to any target, so it's also pretty strong. And then like this can start generating birds. So yeah, the Murmuring Mystic is perfect in this type of deck. So focus on instances and sorceries, and then again card draw spells for the Ironcrack Pyromancer. I think that's our game plan, and we can put these in the sideboard. I could even toss in this Compelling Argument if I wanted to have an extra card that I don't mind cycling to trigger the Ironcrack Pyromancer, but for now, again, it's on the sideboard. And Flux Channeler just doesn't have too much synergy with what we currently have. But kind of forcing the blue-red spells archetype here is nice, since now it's really open. So blue-red spells control. Chart, again, better than a more aggressive deck. But again, we can still cast it in a control deck. It's not bad. This pack sucks. Could just take a random Chamber Sentry. Like, it can still be a 2/2 at the end of the day if we have both colors, and we can still tap it to ping something. I don't think we're splashing a Kroxa because we can't really escape it. I don't think we're splashing for Carnival Carnage. Just doesn't have any synergy, so at the very least, it's going to be a 2/2. Could just take a Negate. Electro Dominance is going to be pretty expensive, so 4 mana is X equals 2. You may cast a spell. Nah, I don't think we want that. Negate can be perfect in this deck, just to target non-creature spells, and there's plenty of them. Just take the Negate. Okay, could just take Fibblethip. Soulscar Mage, probably not what we want. Fibblethip can at least draw a card. I don't think we're Bolting. Goblin Rally, Unsummon Wield, okay, perfect. There's also Gitu Lava Runner for the more aggressive game plan, but I think the Unsummon is just perfect in this type of deck. And then a Bradian Wield, perfect. There's also Kinetic Augur, which is a fine creature. Better if we're being more aggressive, if we're looking to curve out with lots of creatures and beating down, but the Abrade is just a solid removal spell. Also answer artifacts. And then, yeah, I don't mind taking Krenko here. Even though it's better, we can clear a path for Krenko eventually for our removal spells, and this can just get out of hand. Better in a sack deck, but I think it's good overall. I don't think I have enough blue devotion for that. Take a Sure Strike. Goblin Banner Red probably won't make it. Alright, well, this is a good mutate creature, but however, we're playing a lot of non-creature spells, so this is just going to essentially just mill our whole entire deck, or exile our whole entire deck, so I don't think this is the correct choice. There's Young Pyromancer, which has a lot of synergy. Don't think we're milling the opponent with Patient Rebuilding, but this is a pretty powerful bomb to pack one, pick one. But yeah, I mean, it can be a fine win condition in and of itself, but I think we just want the Young Pyromancer here. I mean, milling them is quite nice, but again, the win con is just to ping them to death. Use burn spells to finish them off, and just outvalue them. So I think the Young Pyromancer is correct over the Patient Rebuilding. But in the pack one pick one, the Patient Rebuilding is obviously the first pick, and then you can build some sort of mill deck around it, and it's quite powerful. Runaway Steamkin. There's also Mythos of Aluna, and this can copy our Planeswalkers, so it's pretty strong. Obviously, we're not splashing it, but it's also sorcery that ends up in the graveyard. Runaway Steamkin, we're not really a mono-red deck. I think it's going to be too slow. Pterodon is also pretty good, because since we're going to be playing instants and sorceries, we can adapt this for a very cheap cost, and it can be another fine win con. But the Mythos is quite strong, like just copying our permanents, like any permanent. I think it might have higher value than the Pteramander, but they're both close. Weight of Memory is fine, but it's too expensive. Let's take the Mythos of Aluna. Copying our Planeswalkers is quite nice. Could take a random Quench. Don't think we're doing the Serendib Efreet here. Again, better for more aggressive. I guess there's also Nicol Bolas we could splash. It's going to be quite a challenge, since we only have one black duel. And we're not really looking to splash or fix in this deck. So it might be too much work. I think we just take a Quench here. It's a fine counterspell. It's obviously pretty bad in the late game, and it's better if we can cycle it, but it's just what our deck is trying to do. So let's take a Quench here. It might not make it, but we'll see. This is a creature. Neutralize is perfect, I think, because we can also cycle it. It's just a better Quench at the very least. And it's just what our deck is trying to do. So we're just trying to beat this controlling deck with lots of instances and sorceries, and we can always cycle it. Kinetic Augur is pretty decent. Also, there's also Thassa's Intervention. But I mean, we do have enough counter spells already, but still pretty good. The Augur Bolas is also pretty decent, like just a fine ground blocker. But I think the Thassa is just a better card, right? So yeah, let's take it. We could have been Grixis splashing black. We've found enough mana fixing, but it's okay. I'm still fine, like, main decking a Crash Through 2 in this deck. Going blue-red, I mean, I don't usually like 3 colors anyways in these types of decks. Gitu Chronicler is quite nice. There's also Cathartic Reunion, but you do need to discard 2 cards, so it's a little bit worse. Could actually just take the dual land here, or Crackling Drake. Crackling Drake is quite strong. Yeah, maybe just a Crackling Drake. We do need mana fixing, so hopefully we can wheel a dual land, but I think I'll take the risk here and take a Crackling Drake. We can ditch this Enthralling Hold. I guess we don't mind a Terrarion. Might not play it, but it's better if we're using this to fix. It does draw us a card, though. But our deck is lacking some fixing, so there could be some issues. I think we can ditch the Quench. The Gate actually doesn't look bad in this type of deck. Charter Course is questionable, although it does trigger the Ironcrag Pyromancer. Krenko is also questionable, but it's a powerful win con if it just gets like a single attack in. But I don't think I mean, we're trying to get to the late game, so I don't know if we need to just attack with Krenko right away. Chamber Sentry can be okay. Fanatic of Mogus, Shacklegeist, it can be okay. I mean, we do have a bunch of 4s, but I don't think we're playing Shacklegeist here. So I don't know if I'm passing up on the dual land was good for me there. Probably not. Yeah, we probably don't need Krenko. I could actually just play this Weight of Memory. Don't mind just milling the opponents. Like, I don't think we're trying to be aggressive with the Runaway Steamkin. And our deck is, again, just looking to draw cards, get to the late game, play our Planeswalkers as a win condition, and then just outvalue the opponent and kill their stuff, I think. And on summon with the counter spells is quite nice, like you can balance and counter it, although we do need mana fixing again in this type of deck. This, I mean, at the very least, this is a counter spell, so I don't hate it. Lava Serpent's not that great, although it can cycle. Alright, so, could have been better if this deck had a little bit more better mana fixing, but the Crackling Drake is just so good. Even Gitu Lava Runner Chronicler wield, so I'm quite happy seeing that. Like, we can get to turn 6 and kick this and get back our best instance in sorcery. So it's going to be pretty interesting how to build this deck. So in terms of card draw, we do have the Weight of Memory, Hieroglyphic Illumination. I don't mind the counter spells since we're looking to be very, we're going to play a bunch of instant speed stuff at the very least. Yeah, these are just good card draw spells. Thassa's Intervention is a good counter spell. Thrill, yeah, Gitu looks fine. Abrade looks fine. Negate, maybe not so much. It just doesn't counter creatures, so it can be a bit kind of useless sometimes. Blink is great. Could just ditch the chart, of course. Although, I mean, I could just ditch the Weight of Memory because it's kind of expensive. So yeah, maybe just cut the Weight of Memory, and chart can be one of our card draw spells. I mean, what do we have as a payoff for card draw? There's an Ironcrag Pyromancer. The question is, do we have enough to enable it? Hieroglyphic Illumination can do so. Forgotten Cave can do so. Thrill can do so. So that's 3 already. Fibblethip, 4, 5. Neutralize can cycle. Yeah, we have some decent ways to enable it, so I don't think we need like an expensive Weight of Memory to cast. Fibblethip is not great. It does draw us a card. It is a 2-drop, but it's not even a good blocker. I might even just prefer the Chamber Sentry. I don't know. The Chamber Sentry also doesn't look too good. Yeah, it's just going to be a 2-2, but we can use it to ping, but I'd rather have the Fibblethip then if we're going to do that. I actually don't mind the main deck Negate. I think this is a 17 land deck since we're running a lot of ways to... We're looking to loot. So we do need the lands to loot away, and we're also main decking Forgotten Caves. Chronicler is a fine ground blocker we can always play on too, but it has the nice upside of kicking this and getting it back in instance or sorcery, which a Mirage Conjecture is going to do anyways, but I think it's still fine. Yeah, maybe we just ditch the Negate. We do need to be heavy blue, though, to cast a Thassa's Intervention, so that's quite questionable as well. Since I don't think we're going to use the first ability, and I'd rather just have Sinister Sabotage, so maybe Thassa's Intervention can go, and then Negate can actually be played. In terms of interaction, Shock, Shivan Fire, Unsummon, Blink of an Eye, Abrade. I think we need all the interaction that we can get. Yeah, the last card I'm considering is just a Negate, because it just doesn't counter creature spells. And with 1 Neutralize and 1 Sinister Sabotage, this can be fine. The Unsummon is just a cheap interaction spell that I think we need, since our stuff is looking... Otherwise, I mean, we're just going to be playing like Thassa's Intervention, which can be kind of clunky, with 2 counter spells already that require double blue, so it's a little bit questionable. I mean, I could just play this over Sinister Sabotage, although Sinister Sabotage can Surveil, but... I mean, this just counters right away, right? Well, the opponent can still play twice X for this, so it's kind of questionable. It's quite versatile, though, since we can always use this to draw 2 cards instead. So it actually might be better than Sinister Sabotage. I don't know. Yeah, it could just be better. So I could just main deck the Thassa's Intervention. But this deck is looking quite mana intensive, so it's also pretty interesting. Like, maybe we don't need to run the Crackling Drake because it's so hard to cast in this deck without any dual lands for fixing, but still very powerful as a great payoff card in this deck. I don't know. It still draws us a card, so maybe even if we get stuck in our hand, we can eventually cast it and play it. So I actually don't hate it. Looking at the mana base, slightly favoring blue. Although we do have a lot of double blue, I think 9/8 can still be okay. Yeah, I guess we'll try something like this. I don't really like Fibblethip. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. I guess if I guess we can always target our own Fibblethip. No, it's just not good. Maybe I just ditch the Fibblethip then. Yeah, let's just ditch the Fibblethip and maybe main deck the Quench or Negate. I think the Quench then. Yeah, I'd rather just main deck the Quench. Even though they can pay around it in the late game. They're all situational. In fact, this is too situational, I think, so maybe we don't need to negate. D2 Chronicler also doesn't look great. It looks a little bit too expensive. Like, it can be a fine ground blocker, but with enough interaction and removal, we might not need it. In this case, what do we play? Don't think we're milling them. Think Fibblethip is bad. Could just actually main deck the negate then. Like, I can see this deck like doing really badly against a deck with lots of small creatures. Yeah, I don't think we're kicking D2 Chronicler. It's just too expensive. And I guess I'd rather just have to negate since we're a very controlling deck. And the Thassa's Intervention is also pretty expensive too. Although, again, I can draw us 2 cards. So maybe it's fine having the Thassa's Intervention and we can maybe get rid of Sinister Sabotage. I'd rather have this on turn 3 than Thassa's Intervention though. So Negate is just very efficient, so I like it. Like, Quench can be very efficient too because it's only 1 blue, 1 generic. These are all like great synergy cards. This doesn't draw though for the Ironclad, but it still finds us 2 cards in the late game. So yeah, let's take the Thassa's Intervention here. Maybe we just ditch the Sinister Sabotage, and we can try something like this. Alright, seems fine with only 5 creatures, okay. But we can just basically outvalue the opponent, I think. As long as one of our main win conditions survive, though. I mean, we do have the Electrostatic Field. Yeah, we can just drain them to death, bounce their stuff, kill their stuff. Seems fine. Sabotage would be perfect in this deck, though. I could just ditch the Charter Course, although it does draw us cards again. Maybe I just don't need the Negate. Or the Quench. But they're just so efficient. That's why I like them so much. Now let's just try it out like this. And then for our mana base, slightly favoring blue. I think we need enough. I think we need the red source, right? We still need double red for the Crackling Drake. But I could afford to go like 10-7 still. I mean, I do have some early red removal spells that I might need to cast. But the double blue could be a problem too, because we have a lot of double blue going on in this deck. I mean, we can still cycle and neutralize if we can't cast it. Thassa is better in the late game. Mythos is better in the late game if you already have something. Okay, let's just try 9-8. I think this is fine. Let's see how this deck pans out. This deck is mana intensive, so I need to make sure I get my land drops. So I'm definitely keeping. I think this is good. I think I'm keeping. Yeah, we have Ironclad Pyromancer that they need to answer. We can Abrade. Let's leave a mountain, then we can go double blue eventually. Keep up Abrade. And we have like Murmuring Mystic and Ironcrag Pyromancer as our win con, so this is quite nice. And we'll eventually have double blue for Thassa's Intervention as a good counter spell, so this is good. I think we're going to lead with the Ironcrag Pyromancer though, because you never know when we're going to top deck like a good removal spell. The Pyromancer can just block the 2-1, so I don't know if we even need to kill this yet. But I guess we're going to curve out with the Murmuring Mystic anyways, so I think we use it now. It can get pretty annoying if I don't answer this. So yeah, we can eventually get back our removal spells. Play out the Pyromancer next turn, the Murmuring Mystic, keep up Thassa's Intervention. Like, the Murmuring Mystic can eventually block it, but I'll be taking a little bit too much damage, I think, so we'll just pass here. And then now we can cast the Murmuring Mystic. Don't need to be afraid of any counter spells in Naya, since I think he's going to be mostly a creature-heavy deck, so this is fine. And I don't think I cast the Mariah Conjecture because I don't have a sorcery in the graveyard yet. So I think the game plan is to keep up the Thassa's Intervention for next turn. We can draw a card with it, or we can draw 2 with it, or counter their spell. Or we can kick a Shivan Fire. Let's move to combat. Fine getting in for 1, and then we'll decide whether or not we want to counter his stuff. And we can also just X equals 2 and still keep the Shivan Fire. So we can just draw our top 2 cards and still have the Shivan Fire to shoot something small down. So opponent's trying to do the Field of Dead thing, so I think that requires a lot of ways to search. I can just Shivan Fire that. So I actually don't mind that resolving. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll Thassa end of turn for 2. And we'll get Quench and the Mountain, which are quite nice. Now the question is, do I play the Mirari's Conjecture? And I think I do. And I can guess I can get back, or I can keep up the Quench. This is hard. I guess these are all instances, so I do need to just choose one. Like the Conjecture getting back Thassa's Intervention can be quite nice. Because Quench I don't think is going to do much. Let's just play the Mariah Conjecture here. Let's not get the Shivan Fire. I think I need the Intervention as a good counter spell and the card draw effect. So I think we're just going to attack it for 3 in the air. And then we're going to be shields down, but next turn we can keep up Thassa and Quench quite nicely. Unsealing, that's a scary card. Although he does need power 4 or greater in order to enable it. Alright, Mythos of Illuna isn't bad. This is only cast, right? So he can deal 4, 5, 6 damage to any target. Okay. I think I'll still be able to counter it. Let's just play Mythos and copy our Murmuring Mystic. Although I could copy the Mariah Conjecture. Or I can copy the Ironcrag Pyromancer, although we don't have any card draw yet. Or I can wait until Chapter 3, and this can be quite strong. And keep up my counter spells. Let's say, so if I copy this now, I can return like the Shivan Fire or a Braid. But I'm not really scared of this Pelt Collector at the moment. I think I want to save Chapter 3 for the Mythos and keep up my counter spells. Yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna attack for all this, and then we can keep up Quench, and then like when Chapter 3 ticks, we can Mythos and copy both of these cards, or I can just Mythos right now, and oh, I guess if I Mythos right now, I can still get back an instance or sorcery, and still I can Shivan Fire away the Pelt Collector or Quench, and still keep up Quench, I guess, and then I can loop back my Mythos Chapter 2. So that's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's do that instead. And I think I'd rather have... I guess Shivan Fire is very efficient. Although a Braid could be better. It's pretty hard. Yeah, let's just take a Braid. We can our Shivan Fire, Braid, or Quench, so I think we're fine here. And if he's going to cast something expensive, we can just Quench. So some sort of red-green Naya ramp deck, I think, but he didn't seem to have played a lot of ramp, so the Kara Celebrant is quite questionable because it's better, more aggressive game plan. I could counter this. They only enter tapped, so I don't really care. Sure, you can ramp. And then whatever he plays next, I can just counter with a Quench. So I could Thassa's Intervention X equals 1 to just cycle this, but it doesn't seem that good. So we'll just pass here. And then we can get back Mythos of Aluna next turn. Oh yeah, and I can just keep looping this, right? Yeah, so now I can just keep looping this. This is really broken. And I can keep up the counter spell as well. And this triggers twice. So now I could copy another Mirai's Conjecture again. But I think we want to do the Murmuring Mystic just to make more stuff. Yeah, this is really broken. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess I can just attack the ball here. I don't really need to use my Shivan Fire just yet. I don't think he can win this unless he plays like a giant board wipe like Star of Extinction, but I do have counter spells up again. And next turn we can get back to Mythos again and do the same thing. So it's essentially just an insane like combo here with the Mythos and the Mirari Conjecture. And we can always Shivan Fire this Pel Collector end of turn. So yeah, I think I have to counter that. He can pay for Quench, but this is a little bit too large, I think. So I think we're just gonna counter it. Well, I guess he can pay for it anyways. Since if I do X equals 1, yeah, he's gonna pay for it. So maybe we just Shivan Fire away to 1/1. So next turn we can set up I guess it's just gonna clear the board, right? Yeah, he can just pay for X equals twice X. Yeah, he can pay for all this. That's fine. That's okay. I can rebuild my board. Pretty powerful though. Yeah, maybe I should have just done that end of turn because I forgot how this worked. I can X equals 0. No, I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna pass a turn, and we're just gonna keep looping this back, I think. And this time we will have our counter spells open. We'll copy the Mirai's Conjecture again. Bring back our Shivan Fire. I shouldn't have done that. I should have made more Murmuring Mystics, but that's fine. Yeah, let's just move the attacks. Attack him for 2. No, we can't attack this turn, right? Just stay back. And then we can counter anything that comes up. Make even more birds and like alpha him if he decides to attack me next turn. There's only 4, so it can't deal with the Murmuring Mystic. He's gonna try to fight. I think we're gonna counter that. Because we need some way to, like, fly across to win the game. Don't think that's going to do anything. I'm fine taking 8. Although this can be quite problematic if, I guess I can abrade this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess I need some sort of way to interact with this, Greater Sandworm. Although Rao is quite nice. So how much damage is this? If I kill the Pima Outrider, so Rao costs 4, I'm gonna braid the Pima Outrider. So that's gonna deal 2 damage, I think. I guess I can shoot down the Greater Sandworm too. Let's Rao first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm not gonna kill him. So I probably need to abrade the Greater Sandworm. Actually, I can't. Damn, this sucks. Yeah, darn. This is bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, never mind. He's just dead. If I just use a minus ability, yeah.
There's a storm coming your way.
No, this is 6 damage. Oh no, I messed this one up. Yeah, I messed this one up so badly. Because I can't block the Greater Sandworm. Oh no, yeah, I messed this game up. It's not enough damage. Oh, actually, yeah, it is enough damage. Never mind. It's because the Mirage Conjecture copies too, so pretty close game. I mean, I guess I could have killed the Greater Sandworm anyway, so I thought I messed this game up, but yeah, just copying the Mirage Conjectures is just so broken. But yeah, that was a pretty fun first game. Almost lost that if I didn't, if the Mirage Conjecture Chapter 3 didn't, wasn't triggered. Since he could have just gotten in for 8, and he cleared my whole board, and I made some misplays where I forgot, like, he could wipe the whole board with a 7-powered creature, so that game wasn't perfect, by any means, but we still won, so let's do better next time. Alright, yeah, this seems fine. We can maybe lead with a Saheeli. Gutter Bones, okay, that's going to do a bit of damage to us, so it's going to take some time. Let's lead with Saheeli, and then like we can start generating 1/1s with our tokens. Murmuring Mystic is quite nice. Let's save the red mana for now. Keep a blink of an eye in case something happens. I can also just cycle and neutralize, but yeah, I'd rather cycle and neutralize with the Ironcrag Pyromancer, so let's take it slow, I think. We can always leave with Saheeli. Saheeli takes 2, we can start making tokens from Saheeli. Because he's playing black, there's a lot of spot removal to answer this Ironcrag Pyromancer, like Heartless Act. I could also just bounce here. Is that the right play? So Saheeli can take 3. Alternatively, I can just play the Ironcrag Pyromancer, but none of these are really amazing targets. Yeah, I could blink the Gutter Bones to save some life from Saheeli. Because if I'm going to play Saheeli, what do we do next turn afterwards? I guess we can blink of an eye and then use a token to chump. Yeah, let's try this out. Let's play land. Pyromancer is also quite reasonable. play out Sahili. Then we'll just pass here. And if we top deck a land, that's nice since we can Young Pyromancer and also make tokens. But for now, Sahili's going to take 3. Maybe we can ambush him next turn if he plays with the blink of an eye next turn, make a token, block the Gutter Bones. If he's going to enhance this, and it's not going to kill, hopefully he doesn't have enough power to kill Sahili, we can just bounce this and then ambush the one toughness creature, but I'm fine with Sahili falling down to 2. And he can take 1 next turn from the Doom Dissenter if he plays anything large here. Okay, the Unsummon isn't actually that bad for us, so maybe we just play a Young Pyromancer first and then use Unsummon. Alternatively, I can play the Pyromancer, block the 2-1, take 1. But I think the Young Pyromancer is quite nice here, and we can keep up the Unsummon. I guess we can make 2 tokens, so that's quite nice. So this is a mono black deck trying to use sack synergies and yeah, it's a mono black deck trying to utilize sack synergies and Black Devotion. I think that makes sense. Heartless Act. I guess I don't mind saving this. Like, I can still make 2 1/1 tokens. I guess he can just gain a bunch of life if his creatures die, but do I really want to save this? Like, it's a lot of mana to cast. Maybe I just unsummon now. And we can bounce to Gutter Bones, I think. Or bounce to 1/2. Yeah, let's just bounce to 1/2, make 2 tokens here. It's pretty decent. And he was saving the Heartless Act anyways. And then he can draw a card and lose a life, I guess, by attacking Sahili with Gutter Bones. I'd rather just bounce to Doom Necromancer because I don't want to give him a 2/2 next turn. He might have like another removal spell at instant speed here. I guess he might try to sack here. That's fine. I mean, this is still a cast trigger, so it's going to it's still a cast trigger, so it's still going to make some tokens here, so that's fine with me. We can block the 2/1. He's going to lose 2 life again. And I'm not going to lose any life, so he won't be able to cast a Gutter Bone. So I think we're fine. Keeps it back. Interesting. I think I need to play this tapped. Yeah, and then I can bounce maybe the zombie token. Because I don't have land to cycle. Like, it would be nice to have like a land here so I can cycle the Ironcrack Pyromancer, but I don't think I have the luxury, so we're just going to pass here and say go. We can block the Gutter Bones and bounce the 2/1, I think. That's the game plan. Entomber Exarch. He's mostly going to spy on my hand, I think. I could just neutralize this. Like, it's not a bad idea. And still chump. And next turn we can keep up Blink of an Eye to draw. Yeah, let's just do that. He can stack his Gutter Bones to take out both of my tokens, I think. No, only one of them, so I'm fine blocking with both here. Or double blocking or chumping. Yeah, I think I'm gonna chump one. I don't want Sahili to die. She's just a powerful win condition here, and then we can still like blink of an eye next turn, or play out the Murmuring Mystic. Priest, that's pretty annoying. Yeah, Priest is pretty annoying. But we can still Pyromancer here and blink the token before he sacks it. I think we'll just do that. We'll main phase this so he doesn't have a sack fodder, and we can make a token here and defend our Saheeli. So I think we're good. If we top deck a card draw spell, that would be quite nice, since we should be able to like copy the token under the arc. We can kill off the priest, and potentially win that way. Skeleton, although he can't activate Gutter Bones. He can't play Gutter Bones because I need to lose a life. He can, of course, pay mana to sack this to kill my servo token and lose 2 life to draw a card. So I think that's his game plan. And then just recast this to draw more cards. But he's also losing life in the process. So I actually don't hate him doing this. And he can just recast this, I guess. And I'm just hoping I top deck a card draw spell to deal with this priest next turn, which I'm hoping I do. Well, there we go. Crackling Drake, perfect. We can take out the priest, and he can pay 2 life to draw a card. Okay, now we can play out Island. Say go. So he doesn't have any sack outlets now besides the Erebos, and Crackling Drake is a difficult creature to deal with, so we should be okay. Next turn we can Das's Intervention for 1. I can't counter this because it's only 0. But Freaka Spawn we can always deal with. This card's annoying. Yeah, I can't counter that as well. I think he's going to have Death Touch and Menace, right? I think that's a more logical decision. I could just let Saheeli go here. Like, it's not bad. Because I don't really want to throw any of my creatures in front here. So maybe Saheeli can go. And we do have a Murmuring Mystic anyways to essentially generate tokens. So yeah, unfortunately Saheeli is gone. A Braid is quite nice. So what we can do is we can Murmuring Mystic and then keep up a Braid. Or we can just Braid right now and attack. Yeah, I think we just do that. In case he has any, like, shenanigans. And we can attack for 4, which is a lot of damage. If he wants to lose life, that's fine. I'll be attacking him for 4, which is a lot. So he needs to be... Opponent does need to be very careful here if he wants to stay alive. 4 is a lot. I'm not going to say no to 4 damage. This also disincentivizes him from stacking anymore. So if he attacks for Freaka Spawn, fine blocking with the 1/5, and then that's fine. We're just gonna stack the token. It's okay. And if he wants to draw cards, that's fine. He's at a very low life total. Might have a removal spell here. Okay, Grey Merchant to stabilize. Okay. I guess I'll be taking 5, which I'm okay with. I can still block the Freaka Spawn. It's no big deal. Grey Merchant is really annoying though, so I need to be careful here. What? No, I'm good, Mom. Let's Intervention for maybe X equals 2 and draw 2 cards. It's not a draw effect, so it's not going to be that great, but I think I have to do this. Top 2 or top 3. Yeah. Let's do top 3. Yeah, let's do X equals 3. Although I might need 3 mana here, so yeah, let's just do X equals 2. Just draw 2. It doesn't trigger the Pyromancer, but I think I need to do this. Crash Through is quite nice. Yeah, let's just take the Crash Through here. And we're definitely attacking for 6. And yeah, we should be able to chump and survive here still. So we're in good shape. So glad that I main phased that, since now I dig a little bit deeper, and I got to cantrip and activate the Ironcrag Pyromancer, so we're in good shape, I think. We also have the 1/1 tokens to chump. I can still afford to take a little bit of damage. Okay, so he's still at 5 because he has the food to activate. Okay, dead weight, sure. I'm definitely chumping the 5-powered creature, and I can block the Farika spawn with the Murmuring Mystic, and then block with the Ironcrag Pyromancer onto the Grey Merchant. So I think we're in good shape here. Obviously, he can sack this to deal with a 1/1 token, but we're still fine. We should have enough ways to end the game. So yeah, these are the blocks that make the most sense here. Since everything's at 2 toughness now, he can't sack anything to kill anything. Unless he wants to deal with Flyer, so we're good. Alright, I guess we just attack in with all. I mean, he's at 6 life, so he's forced to stack the food here. Because if he sacks this, he's going to be at 6. I need to attack with all, so... Hopefully there's nothing in the way, because, yeah, he's gone. Alright, let's keep playing. Okay, seems good. Pyromancer on 3. Alright, we just need a couple of instant sorceries to fill the experimental overload, but it's okay. As long as this doesn't die, I guess we're good. Or we top deck some more instant sorceries. Ooh, copying the Pyromancer, okay. Let's play the land. Don't mind casting Unsummon. I guess I don't mind casting Unsummon, although it does protect my Ironcrag Pyromancer on 4, but I'd rather just copy it on turn 4, so let's just play lands to go. I mean, play land, cast the Ironcrag Pyromancer here. It's going to be pretty hard to have something at instant speed that deals with 4 toughness. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is the internet or something, but the game is being weird here. Okay, finally resolved. This has been happening all day, by the way. And I can now Mythos onto the Ironcrag Pyromancer, copying it. Krenko? Okay, I guess we need the Shivan Fire Krenko now. There's no way in hell I'm letting this attack, so let's just do it now before it gets out of hand. And just pass a turn. Next turn we can keep up Unsummon, and we can also next turn just Mythos our Pyromancer and then keep up Unsummon as well. Don't really care about this. I mean, it's a little bit good for him because like he can keep up -1/-1 counters. I could also bounce this as a tempo play, but I think it's fine. I mean, yeah, maybe I just bounce it here. This is gonna be pretty absurd. I mean, I can always just take 3. I'll just take 3 next turn. Ooh, Blink of an Eye. Well, that's quite good. But what's even better is just copying the Ironcrag Pyromancer here. And then we can get 2 triggers next turn, so I think this is fine. What the hell's going on? Come on, please stop lagging. Okay, let's just copy our Ironcrag Pyromancer. It copies any permanent too, so I also forgot this can copy the opponent's bombs as well. But we'll just make 2 and we'll just say go. I'm fine just taking the hits here, and then like we can always unsummon if something goes wrong, if he tries to use some sort of fight spell. But let's just take it here. We can just blink of an eye against the opponent next turn. I'll take it. There's no reason to take it because he could have some 3 damage removal spell, and he could finish off these Pyromancers. So 4 is fine. I think I'm healthy. If he's gonna do a lot of damage, I might as well summon that instant speed here. I mean, this is a lot. Yeah, let's just bounce this back. I also don't want to give him a Rimrock Knight, so let's kind of prevent some damage here and just... And the Rimrock Knight not resolving and me just taking 2 is so good here. I think I just blink here, blink the Soul Scar Mage, or blink Annex. Yeah, let's just blink at instant speed. Let's just kick this blink. I think I want to finish off Anax here. I don't really care about the Soul Scarred Mage. This is totally fine with me here. And then we can also experimental overload, getting back our blink of an eye again the turn after. So unfortunately, Faithful End doesn't do anything here. So I think I'm still fine. Yeah, I think the opponent's trying to ramp now. I can still afford to block the token, I think. Okay, so now what we can do is... Abrade is nice too, but I think we just want to get back the Blink of an Eye. Or the Mythos, but the Blink can trigger the Ironcrag Pyromancers anyway, so I don't think we need the Mythos. The Blink is just perfect here. And I can also abrade the Soul Scarred Mage end of turn, so we'll just pass. Or I can blink if you cast the Beanstalk Giant, draw a card, and then finish off his ground creatures. What the fuck is this? Come on. Problem connecting with air. Come on. I don't deserve to lose this. I honestly don't. My internet connection is like good right now. What's going on? I'm connected. I'm secured. Give me a break. There's on the network. Give me a break. There's no problem with the network. I'm connecting with the internet fine. I don't know what's going on. Okay, do I just close the game out and then just re-enter? I don't really have any internet connection issues. I don't know what's going on. I guess I'll just exit the game out and then just re-enter. Okay, we're going to make a part 2 video. Stay tuned.